Alright, how is everybody doing today? Back again with another video for you guys and gals. And today what I have for everyone is my full review of the Google Pixel XL. Now, if you're new to the channel, typically what I do is I shoot my unboxing and first impressions video. Once I feel like I got a handle on everything that I want to talk about and cover with you guys and gals, then it's full review time. So without further ado, let's jump into this full review. Now, starting off, the first thing I want to talk about with you guys and gals is the overall build quality and design. Now, from a build quality and design standpoint, I have to say that Google did a great job with their first premium device. In particular, the Google Pixel XL was manufactured by HTC, so this device was built by HTC exactly to Google specifications. And I gotta tell you guys and gals, in terms of the overall build quality, this bad boy is top notch. It looks premium, it feels premium, has a really nice weight in the hands. All the buttons are very clicky and give you a nice tactile and clicky feedback to them. And you have your nice little ridged power button and really good volume rockers. So the build on this is top notch, and I really like the design of this as well. So really solid build quality and really solid design when it comes to the Google Pixel XL. Alright, up next now, let's talk about that display. So up front, dead center here, we have a 5.5 inch Super AMOLED display or AMOLED display with a screen density of 534 pixels per inch. Now, I know you guys may be saying, man, there's a lot of bezels, and the reason for that is this device is using the traditional 16:9 aspect ratio. So you got a lot of bottom bezel and you got a lot of top bezel. But that being said, I feel that the overall display on this device is top notch. Now, for those of you who want to see the actual numbers here, let me go ahead and pull it up. And of course, I got to get that obligatory advertisement when I pull it up for you guys and gals. But y'all can see right there, it is a 5.5 inch display. And it does have a screen density of 534 pixels per inch. And it is a quad HD display. And this is in the traditional 16:9 aspect ratio. So that means that the resolution of the display is 1440p by 2560p. So you got true quad HD resolution or a 2K resolution on the display on this device. Now, talking about the display in terms of daily usage, I have to say that this display is really good. Now, when I go outdoors, I typically have to keep it at about 75%. When I'm indoors, depending on the lighting, I generally keep it between 30 and about 65%. But in terms of the overall day-to-day performance with the display on the Google Pixel XL, it is top notch. So Google and HTC, they have a really nice display built into the Google Pixel XL. Now, let's keep it moving. And let's dive a little bit deeper into the hardware and the software on this device. Now, starting off with the hardware-wise, this bad boy is packing 4 gigs of RAM and 32 or 128 gigs of onboard storage, all right? In particular, the model that y'all see in this video today is the 32 gigabyte variant, all right? Other hardware, this bad boy has a 12 megapixel rear-facing camera, which is capable of recording up to 4K videos and 120 frames per second, 720p slow motion videos, and 240 frames per second, 720p slow motion videos as well. You have your fingerprint sensor on the rear, which is really nice. You also have a dedicated 3.5mm headphone jack. You have Type-C. This device also incorporates fast charging, which is really nice. And the fingerprint sensor on this device is really fast. As y'all can see here, I just got to tap on it. I got a nice little haptic feedback, and the device opens right up. So the hardware on the Google Pixel XL is top notch. Now, there are some downsides to the hardware with the fact that we don't have micro SD card expansion, so I would recommend that you guys and gals go with the maximum storage variant, because again, you cannot expand the storage, so you really got to take into consideration what you're going to use before you make your purchase. That being said, diving further into the hardware, up front here we have an 8 megapixel front facing sensor, which maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second video recording. Again, we have that 5.5 inch display. Then we have our front facing receiver for making phone calls. And then we have our ambient and proximity and light sensors up at the top there. That's what this little black circle is. And then across the bottom, we have our speaker to the left and our microphone to the right. And in the middle, we have our USB Type-C port. All right. Internally, this device is packing a Snapdragon 821 quad-core processor and an Adreno 530 GPU. So this is a little bit older flagship chip in this device in terms of the hardware, but in my opinion, it still performs extremely well. All right. So that pretty much does it for the overall hardware on the Google Pixel XL. And I also forgot to mention that the Google Pixel XL is packing Gorilla Glass 4 on the front display. So again, not the latest and greatest, but still good for the time when this device came out. So really, really good stuff in that regard. And I do believe that that covers all of the hardware on the Google Pixel XL. Alright, now the next thing I want to talk about with you guys and gals is the overall software and software performance, and we're going to dive into a little bit of the features on the Google Pixel XL. Alright, so talking about the software on this bad boy, now in particular in regards to the software, we are running the latest and greatest Android 9.0 software on this device. And in particular, we have the latest security patch with the February 5th security patch. So as y'all can see here, we are running the latest and greatest security patch, as you can see right there. And we are running Android 9.0 Pie on this device right here, as is evident by the new settings layout. All right, the quick toggles and the new layout for the notifications. All right, now let's go ahead and dive into some of the features that the Google Pixel XL offers. All right, so in terms of the features, the Google Pixel XL offers, as I keep setting off my Google command here, it offers ambient display. So every time I get a notification, the display will light up and I can act upon it. It offers raise to wake. So if I let the device sleep for a minute here, let's let that display go off. All right, it takes a few seconds. Then I let it go off and I raise it up and it comes back on. It also offers double tap to wake here. So if I double tap the display while it's off, y'all see it came on there. And if I double tap it again, it would take me to my lock screen. It also has face detection and it has face unlock, but it's the 2D smart lock face unlock here. So if I turn the display on, it scans for my face and it detected my face there, and I could swipe up and unlock the device. So traditional Apple style face unlock, and it pretty much works every time. As long as I'm in areas where the lighting is adequate, it's gonna work. Boom. And as I already talked about, you do have your fingerprint sensor, and it is really, really fast as well. So quick tap on the fingerprint, it opens right up. Other than that, in terms of the features, we do have the notification pull down for the fingerprint sensor. So you can use your fingerprint sensor to get to your notifications, and this can be accessed from anywhere on your device. All right, so really, really good stuff there. And again, I talked about some of these features in my Android 9.0 review, but we do have quick access to your screenshot from the power menu there. So that's really, really nice as well. We do have access to our button controls or our button navigation. So once again, I go into settings, I go into system, and I go to gestures here. And you can see we have our notification pull down. We got our jump to the camera. So a quick double press of the power button from any screen will launch me into the camera. So right here, take me to the camera, boom, and we in there. And a quick twist of the wrist from any camera setting will switch between the cameras. So I like how they jacked from Motorola there. So quick twist of the wrist, take you to the front. Quick twist of the wrist again, take you back to the rear. So really, really nice in that regard, okay? Then we do have a quick vibrate feature here. So a quick press of the volume up and power button at the same time will put the phone into vibrate. So let me see if I could demonstrate this real quickly for you guys. So watch the screen right there. So the phone's in vibrate and y'all saw the little notification. And if I want to turn it off, and now it's off. So real quick way to jump to vibrate. So if you're in a business meeting and you forget to turn your phone off, you could just quickly push that combination and put the phone into vibrate. So really good stuff there. All right. And then we have our navigation settings. So this is Google's new one button navigation settings here. But that does give you this little stutter step when you get to the app drawer. So you can turn it off and on if you don't like that, or you got to get used to doing the full exaggerated swipe. So you can see full exaggerated swipe will take you in. And you also got to get used to using your fingerprint sensor to pull down the notification tray. If not, you got to side load a different launcher that will give you that capabilities. And again, you could turn the navigation gestures on and off like so. So that's really nice. All right. So I do believe that covers all of the features on the Google Pixel XL. So now let's just take a second to talk about the software in terms of the day-to-day performance. Now, in terms of day-to-day performance, I have to say the Google Pixel XL runs beautifully, and I've had no issues with the day-to-day performance. And in general, I keep about 17 to 21 apps open, and I can easily navigate through the device with no issues. Now, typically, I do get the occasional app slowdown once I have more than 21 apps open, and I do get that occasional app hiccup with those apps open as well. But as long as I'm mindful of that, the device runs beautifully. So I could jump in and out of applications, no problem, and do all that good stuff here and not have any issues. And you can see it loads right up. Now, in general, I would say you probably want to keep no more than 14 apps open. Otherwise, you're going to start to see a lot of app reloads and a lot of app refreshes. But the general performance for the Google Pixel XL is really, really good. And in terms of the overall software experience, it's really good as well. So when we talk about the hardware and the software on the Google Pixel XL, once again, it's really, really solid and really good on this device. Now, let's keep it moving. Up next now, let's talk about the Wi-Fi. So in terms of the overall Wi-Fi performance, the Google Pixel XL is featuring Wi-Fi 802.11, BGNN, and AC. So that means that you have support for your 2.4 gigahertz band and your 5 gigahertz band wherever applicable. And I'm very happy to say, in terms of the overall Wi-Fi performance, this device has performed extremely well. Now, I haven't gotten the fastest Wi-Fi speeds that I've ever seen, but in terms of the daily performance, again, I've had no issues and things load up with no problems. And the same thing can be said for the data performance as well, but we're going to talk about that in a little bit here. But now let me quickly give y'all a real quick Wi-Fi performance test, which will also double as a speaker test as well. So let me go ahead and max out the speakers. Alright, so speakers are maxed out. And I do have the microphone angled front. so we can easily be able to pick up the audio here. Now I'm going to stop talking and give y'all a nice sample. And then I'm going to talk to you guys and gals about how I feel about the overall speaker performance. And then we're going to keep it moving. So let me angle the camera down. There we go. That looks good. And let me go ahead and push play. Through the video a little bit. Okay, so real quick speaker performance test, real quick Wi-Fi performance test, and as you guys and gals saw, the overall Wi-Fi performance on this device is really, really good. Now let me angle the camera back up. Put that back in the frame. Alright. But that being said, when we talk about the overall speaker performance, I have to say the speakers themselves are good. But it's something more akin to the Samsung Galaxy S8 or the LG G6. So the speakers themselves only really come alive, in my opinion, at the higher volumes. Okay, so I have a tendency to keep the speakers on the Google Pixel XL closer to max volume. That's where I feel they perform the best. Also, and y'all already know what I'm going to say, I'm not a big fan of the speaker placement, okay? Now, it's on the right here or left. So this is really easy to muffle. So this is your microphone and this is your speaker. So 9 times out of 10 when I'm using it, I'm muffling it all the time, or I got to get used to cupping my hands to keep that sound going the way I want. So I'm not a big fan of the speaker placement. Yeah, you guys and gals know I always prefer front-firing speakers. Front-firing speakers for the win. And I don't care how you give it to me, I just want some front-firing speakers. And they gotta be some really good quality front-firing speakers as well. But that being said, the overall speaker performance and Wi-Fi performance on this device is really, really good. Now let's keep it moving. Alright? So up next now, the next thing that I want to talk to you guys and gals about is the LTE and the LTE bands on this device. So let me go ahead and, did I pull it up? I don't think I had it pulled up. Let's pull it up here. Yes, I did have it pulled up. So in terms of the LTE on the Google Pixel XL, the Google Pixel XL is a globally unlocked device. So what does that mean? It will work on all the major carriers. Let me get that a little closer so you guys and gals can see that. It'll work on all the major carriers in the United States and all the GSM carriers abroad. And as long as your carrier has these the LTE bands that you guys and gals see on the screen, you shouldn't have any issues. Now, I do want to point out that I did end up getting a European version of the Google Pixel XL. So this one only works with the CDMA carriers in the States. This one did not work with my T-Mobile SIM with Text Now, but it does work with my Straight Talk Verizon SIM. And y'all can see right here, for verification, it does have Straight Talk in the notification shade. And I am getting full LTE. And y'all can see I'm kind of getting like 1 to 2 bars, but where I'm located, I get really solid performance with Straight Talk Verizon, regardless of what bars I have on my device. Now, with my T-Mobile SIM, don't get the best coverage out here where I'm located, but when I'm out in really good coverage areas, T-Mobile works good, but T-Mobile does not work on this variant of the device. So if you want the T-Mobile or all of the carriers to work, I would recommend you go with the US variant here. If you go with the global variant, 9 times out of 10, you may end up getting the European variant, and it may or may not be compatible with your US carrier. So I just wanted to point that out there. But as long as your carrier has the supported bands for LTE, you should be good to go. So in terms of LTE coverage, we have all of the bands except for the newer band 66 and 71. So we got 1 through 20, 25, 26, 28, 29, 30, and 41. And again, we don't have the newer bands in this device, the newer bands being band 66 and band 71. So we don't have that here, but the overall LTE and band support on this device has been pretty good. With that one downside, it doesn't work on T-Mobile. It only works on Straight Talk Verizon or any other CDMA carriers. All right. But in terms of band support, this is still a win in my opinion because it's a globally unlocked device. So really good stuff when it comes to the LTE and bands covered here. Up next now, let's go over the Bluetooth and the Bluetooth performance. Now, in terms of the Bluetooth on this bad boy, the Google Pixel XL is packing Bluetooth 4.2 technology in it. And in terms of the overall Bluetooth performance, I would have to say that it's really, really good. And I've connected up just about every one of my Bluetooth devices to this device, and it's worked with no problems. Now, what you guys and gals are seeing, why you don't see all of my devices in here, is because I did run into a software hiccup when I got the February security patch. For some strange reason, the device would not take my my password unlock, and I had to remote factory reset the device so it cleared out everything that I had in the device. But I did test this with all of my Bluetooth devices, and it worked no problems. So whether you're using Bluetooth speakers, Bluetooth earphones, Bluetooth headphones, what have you, connecting it up to your car, connecting it up to your desktop, your laptop, you shouldn't have any issues, and I have no issues to report in terms of the overall Bluetooth performance. So yes, it's a little bit older, but it still works as it's supposed to, so really good stuff in that regard. Next now, let's go ahead and talk about the overall GPS performance in this device. And you guys and gals know, if you're new to the channel, GPS performance is something that I'm very, very serious about because I use my GPS every day and I'm very GPS dependent, and I'm very happy to report that the GPS on this device works without issues. Whether I was doing turn-by-turn navigation or anything that took advantage of the onboard GPS, it worked without issues. And this was my last GPS test. It locked on in under a second, like 0.5 seconds or a second, and it worked without issue. And you can see I'm actually pulling in a lot of satellites here, and it got a pretty good lock on the device, down to an accuracy of 3 meters. So really, really good stuff in terms of the onboard GPS. All right, so solid Bluetooth, solid GPS. Now let's go ahead and talk about the call quality and the speaker call quality. Now, and I have to give a huge shout out to your boy Altered Tech, because when I first got this device from him and I put my SIM card in, I noticed that my call quality wasn't the best. And I'm like, so I hit him up. I'm like, bro, was your experience with the call quality this bad? And he was like, no, it was actually really good. And I'm like, well, do I have to change some settings or something like that? And he was like, well, what do you have turned on? Now, I don't want to show off people's personal information, and I don't want to have to go through the headache of graying out different stuff, so I'm just going to explain to you what I did. Now, inside of the Call app on your Google Pixel, you want to navigate to your call settings. In there, there's a privacy mode call setting, and what that does is it encrypts your call from end to end. All right, I went ahead and turned that on. I want maximum security all the time. But because I had that turned on, it did make the call quality suffer. The call quality was really bad with that end-to-end encryption turned on. Now, as soon as I turned off the end-to-end encryption for phone calls, the call quality was really, really good. All right, so I would recommend that y'all leave that turned off. Now, if you're very serious about security and you don't really care about your overall call performance, then go ahead, leave it on, use it however you want to use it. But at the end of the day, in my opinion, these are phones. So call quality really needs to be there, especially if you're somebody that uses your phones for business or anything like that. You really want some solid call quality, and I'm very happy to report that after I turned off the end-to-end encryption, the call quality on the Google Pixel XL is really, really good. And the same thing can be said of the speaker call quality. It's very loud, it's very crisp, and it's very clear, and I didn't have any issues with the onboard speakers when I was taking phone calls or the overall speaker call quality on the Google Pixel XL. Now, there is one caveat. I do wish that the speaker calls got louder, but overall it was very crisp and clear, and it was loud enough, so pretty good there. Up next now, this will be the portion of the video where I talk about the cameras on the Google Pixel XL, but I already did a separate dedicated camera video. I'll go ahead and throw up the card somewhere on the screen so y'all can go ahead and check that out. And I'll also go ahead and throw up some of my favorite photos and just give y'all my opinions on the overall camera performance. Again, feel free to check out that separate dedicated camera video if you would like to know more. Talking about the cameras on the Google Pixel XL, again, we have an 8 megapixel front-facing camera and a 12 megapixel rear-facing camera. And in regards to the photos, the photo quality on this phone is really, really, really good. Okay? And it works. I found that I rarely, if ever, had to retake a photo other than the first time. Okay? So overall camera quality when it comes to the photos on the Google Pixel XL is really, really good. And as y'all will see, because I'm gonna throw up some samples there, it's some good stuff here. Now, in regards to the video performance, again, I would have to say that it's good. It's good. It does have a tendency to struggle in areas where you don't have enough light, and the exposure does tend to swing drastically, as you guys and gals would have seen. Again, if you check out the camera video that I've done, along with some other videos that I've done, like the my best or favorite portable rig, y'all check out those camera clips, and you can see the overall video performance on the Google Pixel XL is good, but it's only when you have proper lighting. And in terms of the audio for the Google Pixel XL, when we talk about video performance, again, I would have to say it's good as well. It's not the best, and you may or may not want to pick up a separate microphone depending on the style of video you're going to be shooting, but it's good to get the job done in day-to-day usage. All right, so really, really good cameras for video, for photos, good cameras for video. All right, now let's keep it moving. Up next now, this will be where I talk about the gaming performance, but yet again, I went ahead and did a separate dedicated gaming performance video. Again, I'll go ahead and throw up the cards, so y'all feel free to check that out. But this is flagship hardware, and I have to report the gaming performance on the Google Pixel XL was top notch, and the only issue I had was with extended gameplay sessions. The device did get really hot on the rear, but other than that, I didn't see any performance issues. Even though it was hot, the performance of the gameplay was still very fluid and snappy. But just keep that in mind. If you use your device for a lot of gaming and you're looking at the Google Pixel XL, it does get warm with extended gameplay sessions. Alright, now let's move on to talking about them young benchmarks. Now, I don't really like benchmarks, and I keep asking you guys if I could take it out, but nobody's really leaving a comment, so I have to leave it in until y'all say something. But in terms of the overall benchmark performance, I have to say, for an older device, the Google Pixel XL, keep in mind this is the first generation, did really, really well with my benchmark testing. So this right here is the Geekbench 4 benchmark, and you can see in the single core, it scored a 1619, and in the multi-core, it scored a 4401. So really, really good stuff there. Now this is the Geekbench 4 compute test, and you can see it scored at 8,206. So really, really good for the compute calculations there. This is the 3D Mark Ice Storm Unlimited test, and you can see it scored again a really good score of 29,532. So good stuff there. Now, this is what I was really, really shocked to see. This, let me clear that off for y'all. This is the Disco Mark multitasking benchmark. And what this does is it lets me select any number of apps on my device, and it cycles through said apps an average number of times and comes out with an average speed that it took my device to get through all those apps, as y'all can see there, and it gives you the independent app opening times for each app. So as y'all can see, the Google Pixel XL on the older hardware and the newer software is running extremely quickly when it comes to opening apps and switching between the apps. And this right here, this was shocking. It got an average time of 4.055 seconds. Okay, that's one of the fastest times that I've gotten ever running this benchmark. And that's even faster than my Samsung Galaxy S8, which is running a newer chipset, a little bit newer chipset. So this just goes to show you right here with this benchmark right here. Again, and I say this often, benchmarks mean absolutely nothing, but what really matters is the overall combination optimized, which should equal an overall smooth and fluid user experience, okay? And that is what the Google Pixel XL offers in spades. All right? Really, really shocked by that. So this is the Antutu benchmark, and you can see it scored a 170,134. So good stuff. And now this is a little bit of an older benchmark. This is the Volimo metal test. And I still run this because I like to see how the newer devices stack up to the older devices. And it pretty much maxed out the test and scored a 2,958 and got top of the pack. Now this is the Volimo multi-core test, and you can see once again it maxed out the test and scored top of the pack with a 3,239. So really, really good stuff, and that pretty much does it for the benchmarks. Now let's move on to the next portion of this video, which is where I want to talk to you guys and gals about the battery life and the overall charge times. And I'll be sure to throw up my screenshot results in post so y'all can see what my particular results were. But one thing that I want to emphasize is that I am an extremely heavy user, and my results reflect that. Depending on your usage, your results may vary. But talking about the Google Pixel XL, in terms of the overall battery life, I'd have to say that the battery life is good, decent to good. All right. Now, on average, as long as I was using the device light to moderately, I was easily able to make it through the day. If I went to heavier usage styles, then I had to charge the device an additional time throughout the day. And on average, I'd say with my style of heavy usage, I was getting anywhere from about 5.5 hours of screen on time to about 8.5 hours of screen on time. Now I say 8.5 because I got it twice, but I can't really call it unless I can get it 3 times or better. But I want it to be as accurate with my numbers as possible. So I did get 8.5 more than once. So I had to let you guys and gals know. But I couldn't really duplicate that for the 3rd time. And my usage style doesn't change. Okay? So the fact that I was able to get it twice, but I couldn't get it that 3rd time or even that 5th time, because I run through these tests a good 3 to 5 times, and then I tell y'all the results. Okay? So on average, if you're a light to moderate user, you should have no problems getting through the day, and it should easily last you through the day. Now, if you're a heavy user, then you're going to end up charging at least 1 extra time through the day. All right? That being said, when we talk about the overall charge times, and again, I'll throw up the screenshots in post so y'all can see my results. On average, I can tell you guys that the charge times on the Google Pixel XL were really, really good. Just let me show y'all some stats here. Now, this is the Ampere benchmark, and this is what I use to judge if a device has fast or turbo charging. And the magical number that I'm looking for when I plug up my device to the charger and I run this charging app, the magical number I'm looking for is anything over 1800 milliamps. And on average, I was getting anywhere from between 19 to about 3100 milliamps. So this device definitely has fast charging. Now, it's not the fastest I've seen, but it's still pretty good. On average, I say that this device took anywhere from 1 hour and 50 minutes to 2 hours to reach a full charge. Now, keep in mind, I did my testing from 10% to 100% 5 times, 15% to 100% 5 times, 20% to 100% 5 times, 10% to 50% 2 times, 10% to 70% 2 times, 10% to 80% 2 times, so on and so forth. So 15% to 50%, 15% to 70%, 15% to 80%, so on and so forth. 20, y'all get what I'm saying here. And on average, charging the full, it took, again, 1 hour and 50 minutes to just over 2 hours. Now, if the device is completely dead and you plug it in, then you're looking at that just over 2 hour mark. All right? Now, for the instances where you don't charge the full, let's say you charge to 50% or 75% or 80%, then you're looking at reaching those charge points in about 35 to 45 minutes. Okay? Keep in mind, your guys and gals results may vary because we don't all charge our devices at the same percentage and we all use our devices differently. And your results may be faster or slower depending on what you have running in the background. So if you have data going, if you have Wi-Fi going, you have the Bluetooth on, you have the location on, you may get slower charge times. And these particular results were done with all of these things on. So I had Bluetooth running, I had Wi-Fi running, my data was syncing, I had the location settings on when I ran all these tests. Okay, so depending on what you have running and syncing, your charge times may vary. That being said, when we talk about the device in terms of overall charge times, I'd have to say that it's pretty good. Again, it's on par with the Samsung Galaxy S8. Good stuff there. All right, now moving on, now we've reached the end of the video, and this is where I want to talk about the price and give you guys my final thoughts and an overall recommendation or two. Now, I picked up this Google Pixel XL from a really good friend of mine. Your boy Ultra Tech hooked me up with a really good deal, and I paid $190 for this device in brand new mint condition. And just so I can verify with you guys here, let me jump into the battery settings and we'll go to the battery health. And you can see that the battery health is over 100%, okay? And it got to that after I did my full discharge and recharge cycles. So this battery is still 100% healthy. And the device is in mint condition. As I showed you guys in the unboxing, and I had some B-roll put up throughout the video, this device is in mint condition with perfect battery health, and I paid $190 for it. Thank you so much, bro. You hooked me up with a really good deal, and I really, really love the device. Alright, I'll go ahead and throw some links to your boy Ultra Tech's channel down below in the video description. Please check your boy out. He does some really great work. And let's keep it moving. That being said, if you want to pick up the Google Pixel XL right now, today, brand new as of the recording of this video, which is February 13th, it's somebody's birthday today. Happy birthday. As of the recording of this video, you can find the Google Pixel XL ranging in price from, I think it was $190 all the way through to $250. And keep in mind, your prices may vary depending on storage configuration and the actual device that you're going for. And one thing I want to mention is the XL variants are always more expensive by $50 to $100 and based on storage configurations. And again, this configuration that you guys have seen in this video was the 432 variant. There is a 4128 variant as well. So, if you're picking it up new, which you can't really find it new these days because this device is pretty much old, but if you're picking it up new, refurbished, or lightly used, then you're going to look at paying anywhere from about $250 to $200 to $250. Now, if you're okay with going with the smaller device, if you're okay with going with the regular Google Pixel, then you can find the regular Google Pixel, the 5-inch variant, for prices ranging from about $160 to $200, and that is for the max storage variant. So that $200 plus tax, I think it's like $205. That's going to get you the 4 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs storage variant of the smaller Google Pixel. And I would actually recommend that one if size is not an issue for you, you just want a really, really solid performing device. I can easily recommend y'all go with the standard Google Pixel over the Google Pixel XL. Me, myself, I went with the Google Pixel XL because 5.5-inch screen size is actually my favorite screen size. This is like the perfect screen size to me. So when I was looking at picking up the Google Pixel or Google Pixel XL, it's pretty much a no-brainer that I was going for the 5.5-inch model. And again, that would run me anywhere from about $200 to $250. So I got a really great deal at picking up this device for $190. Really good stuff. Anyways, I believe that pretty much does it for this video. If you guys and gals enjoyed this video and or found it helpful in any way, shape, form, or fashion, please help your boy out and give the video a thumbs up. That really does help me out. You don't know how much. If you want to see more content like this, please feel free to hit the subscribe button down below and click off the notification bell icon right next to it so you guys and gals get notified when I post new videos. That being said, if this video piques you guys' interest and you would like to know where you can pick up the device, some really good accessories, some really good screen protectors, all that good stuff, all those links will be linked up down below in the video description. So whether you're looking for screen protectors, whether you're looking for cases, and or you want the device at a really great price, all of that stuff will be linked up down below in the video description. So if your interest is piqued, down below in the video description should be like a one-stop shop for you guys and gals, and you should be good to go. As well as down below in the video description, we'll have all the links to all of my coverage on this device. So if you want to see camera samples, you want to see video samples, all that good stuff, everything will be linked up down below in the video description. Alright, that being said, this whole video was recorded using the rear-facing 12 megapixel camera on the Samsung Galaxy S8 at 1080p resolution at 30 frames per second. Now I will downsample this to make it easier for upload. So I'll probably upload it in 720p at 30 frames a second. But just so y'all know, the original recording was at 1080p at 30 frames per second. Alright? And all of the audio for this video was recorded using the BOYA BY-MM1 microphone. And I have links to that stuff as well as links to all of my camera and production gear down below in the video description as well. Anyways, I hope everyone has a great day, and I will catch you guys and gals in my next video. Peace, everyone. I think the versus/comparison video is next. It's going to be so much fun. Catch y'all on the next one.